guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be learning about another topic in C++. It's going to be the input and the output stream, also known as the IF and OS streams. And what we're going to be able to do at the end of this video is how to manipulate and how to make files, how to read into those files, and how to finally at the end, when we're ending the program, close the files. So let's get right into it. So now that we're in the project, now that we're in Replit, let's get right started. So let's make a new REPL that's going to be with C++. Let's call it, I don't know, like file tutorial. Let's do that. File tutorial. And I'll just put EttanEhsan. Don't put that. You can, but I prefer not to. I'd prefer that you don't do that. But again, let's do choice. Now let's create the REPL. And let's get right into file making. Oh, what happened? I pressed the button. It's going in the something that we might learn in another time, but it's HTML. And yeah. Anyway, this is for maybe another day. But no, it's C++. That's JavaScript and HTML. So let's do our formatting. This shell and perfect. Let's now maximize. Let's select everything on screen. So we're going to be using another library that we have not used yet. It's going to be called the I'll write it now. It's going to be called the F stream. Now we included our file stream, our F stream. So let's just give the basic int main. Remember the formatting with these curly brackets. So now let's learn how to use these files. Well, if we'd want to open a file, there are many different ways. But the way that I use, and the way that I prefer the most, and the way that I think is the easiest way of doing it is doing this way. So I'll show it to you right now. std f stream. Okay, it's called f stream, the type of the variable. After we'll call it file. File. Then we want to say file dot open. That's going to open the file, as you may have guessed. And here we'd want to say what file we want to open. Let's say, I don't know. Actually, it might seem a little bit weird to you, but I'll explain when we're done writing this line of code. So let's call it red code.txt. Remember, we always have to say txt because .txt is the signature of a text file. Well, it will just be a file. Like you can see here, if we restore, we have main debug. It's going to be in this format if we don't put .txt. If we put .txt, you're going to see what's going to happen. It's going to name it like that, you see. Now, it's new. It has like these lines. So it's a txt file. It's a text file. Next. So now, okay. But one of the things the most important is here. So you see, std iOS. There are two things that you can do. You can either do in, but in this case it will not work, or out. In this case it will work. In doesn't work because in stands for input. When you want to only read into it, you say that. But you can't just make write a file down that doesn't exist yet. You have to either use a file that already exists or make a file manually. The good thing of not making the thing that what it gives without being able to because listen to this. You might be thinking, oh, I could just say out and then it would what was I going to say? It's going to input out this file. And you might be wondering, oh, then why can't we just make this file directly? Because after, we're not going to have something to store this file inside. That's why you need to use it most of the time manually for more control. And out would work in this case, because out, what it does is that if it's already existing this file, it's going to remake it and reset all the values. Or if it doesn't exist, it will make the file. So out we'll use in this case. And here, I don't know, we can say std. No, not cout. Look, we're going to be saying, I think it's like this, yeah, file. No, wrong one, sorry. Red code. Right. I can say this, right? And the reason why it works is because, look, here what we're saying is that we said that we opened this file, we said we created this file, and after we said that this file fstream is only going to be used to print out. So this is one functionality that you can only use with out, with the OF. This is the part that we call the OF stream. And after you'll say file, no stds, no stds, file, and after you'd want to print out like with the same sign that you use for std cout, then you say what you want to print out onto it. And I believe this is possible. Yeah, you see it works? Same things. And after you could also say, I don't know, like I think this would work. Let's see. Because I never used numbers with this. I assume this worked. It works. You see 32? No, remove 32. Oh, you see you have red code. It worked. Code red, it made us enter, and it put 4. So it's like the cout, except that you can also put numbers. Right. You might, that's the thing. But if we do it again, it will be the same, right? But as I explained, if it redoes that, if this file name already exists, then it will just create it and make the values equal to 0. I mean, reset it, equal to nothing, just blank. And after this, then it will do whatever it wants to do. And that's what just happened. It's just that we can't see it because we said repeat the same thing, do the same thing. So that's why when we ran it the second time, it didn't reset because we have to put a special function for it to reset. And yeah, that's what happens. To close like the whole file. So we'll learn that later. Now let's take over so let's just make another of these f streams, std f stream. Let's say file in. Just giving random names. And then here we're going to want to be saying file in. So you see, we'll be using the name of our fstream thing, fstream variable first. Then we say the open, and yeah, dot open. And here we'd want to put the same name, because if we did another thing, I believe that they would not work. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Maybe it will work, but it'll have no value anyways. So let's do this. except this time we'll say std iOS. Don't ask me what iOS is. I don't know what. I seriously don't know what iOS is. That's just one of the things that is in C++. Then you say in this time. It's going to read inside of it. And remember the comma. Right here. But what are we going to do now? Well, this is the next thing that we're going to be covering. This while, you can also do this while thing. I think this is going to be the last thing because this topic is very simple and short. So we're going to say while our name of our file that we're creating. So here we want to say while while file while the file is .eof. This means that while it's not at the end of the file, so while this file variable here is opening the this and creating this file that doesn't already exist, it will be processing this stuff in it. So after here we'd want to put here, so this is where we're going to be reading it. So while it's doing that, in parallel, like I'm going to make my next video, or maybe the video before, I think it's going to be next, the restaurant project, that's where we use the parallel files. But this is different. These are parallel, parallel file processing, that's what I call it. And so what we're going to be doing is that here in parallel, so while is when this is calculating this, it's calculating each and single word. And so saying each time when it's doing it, it's going to be calculating one word, right? So after, when it's processing these words, it's going to be saying this word is referenced to that word, and this word to that, this word to that, this word to that, etc., etc., etc. And each time it's going to be printed out the word that it's referencing it to, because you can't just print out a file. That would not work. You have to first reference a variable to that file, but you can't reference it to the whole thing. Like when we said in a for loop, int I colon whatever we want to reference it to. So same thing here. So at the same time it's going to be referenced and it's going to be printing out. So let's see std cout. And before that we'd want to do something here new. Right, so what was going to do here? Yes, we're going to say std getLine. GetLine is not only for like another type of cin, but it's also used to do this kind of data processing and manipulation. So GetLine. So first we'll put what is the name of the file that we want to transfer to our variable. That's going to be what is it? File. File, I think, yeah. File in here, and here we'll say what variable we have. Let's say, so let's make another variable called std substitute. Right. Okay, that will work. Now just substitute. Right, it works. Because we only said that we output, and here we made another one for inputting. And we said that we're going to be inputting into this. Not inputting, reading it into it. The reason why we call it input is because you're really reading it, so you're giving input to that, like eyes, for example, when it's transforming your vision, it's going to bounce back to your eyes, and the photons are going to be taking your vision, and the photon is just like light. But anyways, we're not studying science over here. So, right. Let's get back on track. So we're saying that we want to input in this, read this, and then we reference substitute to that file in that's only going to be only going to be reading, and we said that this file that we're going to be reading is that. So yeah, we just, in short terms, it would be that we just reference substitute to our file, and with this in attribute, we can read into it. After here, we want to say what else? Right, so we said substitute. Now let's try it out. Right, let's restart. Yeah, this should work. The console. Oh, I think I see what is the problem. Here's what is happening. Oh, it's making infinite spaces. Substitute. Oh, right, because UF, we did say UF. I'm just reloading it because because the spaces don't want to stop. Right, now worked. So you'd want to say the input, because we're using input, not the output, because that will just make errors. So you'd want to say while the input is not there at the end of the file. Because, oh right, because we're inputting and we're trying to input in the file. We're trying to input the file, read the file. So until we get to the space, that's a problem. So we didn't say that. We said until it's like to a space, but after you can't understand that because it's generating code, it's not saying until that. And already it was a space, so just broke. So you want to put the input first. There. Why isn't it put for? Oh, it's the string. That's why, because it's a string, so after it can't read that code. That's why that it would really always work. So yeah, same thing for you to remove this. Anyway, right. So we know how to do that. And right, so we could, some cases we want to do this, like in restaurant project that we're going to be doing, or that we already did, I remember. We want to parallel these two things. So after we're going to be using the same concept, not this one, sorry, this one, and with other numbers, except you won't be doing this, you will be using these signs. And the thing that you want to substitute, the thing that you want to, the file, the name of the F stream, then here, what you want to put in the data into, and yeah, it's kind of this getLine thing except with integers, and it doesn't have this extra code, and you just put these signs. Right, now we covered that concept, let's do the final concept after we are done with the video. So what would we want to do here at the end? So what do we always do? At the end, we always want to close our files. So you guessed it. I also guessed it when I first learned it. I remember. It was .close. So the name of the file is going to be file. Remember, we always want to close every single file. Because if we don't close it, after it will keep the files, then it'll make it messy, then you can't read it that well, you can't see very well. When you have big programs, so large scale programs, they want to do it. And you see file dot. So after you see close, automatic. Just do that. Then you say file in dot close. And the last one, I know we've never used it, but when you start doing more complex code, you'll start seeing that return 0 is very more appropriate and feels nicer and more comprehensive to do it at the end. So yeah, it's quite basic, this lesson. I hope that you like this short video. It took 20 minutes and 40 seconds, and yeah, then I guess that you enjoyed this video, guys, and yeah, see you in the next one.